Happening, guys? Welcome to the shop. It's Sunday afternoon. Figured we pop in real quick. One, with an important PSA, and number two, give you an update on the status of what's going on with the Cutlass here. Okay, first, public service announcement. Peer pressure. Been taught about that since probably, I don't know, elementary school. They teach you not to listen to peer pressure. Don't give in to peer pressure. Don't let people talk you into things that you probably shouldn't do. Well, we went out last night doing some testing because we got the car together. Got everything up and running. Decided, hey, let's go do some testing. Went out, made a couple easy pulls. Got good data. Everything was looking good. We're like, okay. Then my buddy's like, well, we should run about 10 miles away to get some fuel and something to drink because the E85 station is probably about 10 miles away from my house. So he's like, hey, let's ride out there and get some fuel. Like, all right, well, by this time it's probably about 1:30 or so. We start to drive out. We end up on the 4-lane highway. It was 2 o'clock at night with nobody around. We come up to the one red light and he's like, oh, we should make a good pull this time, get some more data, and let's see what she can do. So we stop, we engage the draggy, get everything set up to go. The last second, he decides, he's like, oh, we should arm the nitrous and just try it. Now, mind you, stock motor, twin turbos, but the turbos are a little laggy because they are kind of big for my application. Anyway, I got 100 jet in the nitrous kit. We arm the nitrous, it's set up in a holly to spray it for like 7 seconds of the run. Usually, or 10 PSI, whichever comes first. Well, bring it up on a 2-step, launch it, takes off, runs good. Launched kind of harder than I expected, pulled kind of harder than I expected, and in typical fashion, I got my shift light set probably about 300 or 400 RPM under where I'm actually going to shift. That way it gives me time, light comes on, I shift it next gear. Well, I shifted in the next gear, and apparently at some point I didn't shift fast enough. It tags the rev limiter, and we bend a push rod. Not only that, by tagging the rev limiter, we spun at 7200. We also bent an exhaust valve on number 1 cylinder. Now, there's no other damage to the engine. Everything else looks fine. Got it pulled apart here. Got the head cleaned up, got the new valve in place. Just got done copper coating the head gasket to reuse for the, I think this is like the 5th or 6th time that I reused this gasket and head bolts, even though the internet know-it-alls tell you can't do that. But we've never lifted a head or had a sealing problem. We're always breaking hard parts. But so that's where we're at. We're going to have it back up and running here probably about an hour. I went ahead and pulled the lifters out, checked them. Everything looked good. So, I could figure, well, I did find out it wasn't only the misfire. I had a plug wire that was a little bit burned on the exhaust, and that caused, I would say that's what caused that broken or bent push rod. But everything else looks all right. We'll come over here, show you. We did notch the piston a little bit, but it's not too bad. It just barely kissed it like normal. It's not the first time. It just matches the piston on the other side now. One day I need to cut valve reliefs in these, but it's summertime now and we're out enjoying riding it, so we're not going to take the time to do that. So that's an update. That's my public service, is when you think that it's a bad decision, if your gut tells you it's a bad decision, don't do it. Don't let somebody talk you into doing it. Because sometimes when they do, it seems to never fail. That's always my luck. The one time we was at the track and broke a piston, I was kind of done for the day. I was running the 8th mile the rest of the day. Come back up for the last pass, and I let someone talk me into making a 1/4 mile pass instead, and that's when we realized that we had a fuel filter that couldn't flow enough volume, and we ended up breaking a piston that day. So maybe one day I'll learn to think for myself and quit listening to other people. Usually I'm pretty good at it, but hey, it happens. But yeah, guys, the struggle is real when it comes to this. When you decide to drive something like this on the road, I mean, I guess we could do it easily and just say that, hey, let's build a race car. We'll haul it to the track. If we break it, we'll just bring it home and set it in the corner and worry about it later. But when it's your daily driver, you don't have that option, you know. But we wouldn't have it any other way. I don't know if I just don't know any better or what, don't care or whatever, but I just have always done it this way, man. But nonetheless, like I said, the bent valve, we lapped a new valve in there, pulled the lifters, checked the cam, there's no damage, everything was just that. I got some wires to make up some new plug wires. I'm going to get this head cleaned up, waiting on the copper coat to dry on my gasket. Go ahead and clean up the head bolts, get the torque wrench out, get everything, get her slapped back together, and we'll be out making some more street pulls later on this evening. Well, I might wait because I do got to drive this thing a little bit. I got stuff to do tomorrow and I really need a car to drive around in, so we're going to get back at it. We'll pop back in when it gets done. Till then, guys, remember, you know, this is a philosophy I live by because it's the truth. Sleep in your car, but you can't race your house. And if you know what that means, you know what that means. We'll see you later. Thanks for checking us out.